previous video we had learnt about light reflection with respect to the mirrors, convex and concave mirrors, and we had also learnt about the laws of reflection, Cartesian signs, and also the formula for mirror. In this video we'll learn more about refraction, spherical lens, its formula, and the possible images that can be formed with respect to the lens. So let's start with the video now. So refraction of light. So let's take a medium here, that is the line above this is a rarer medium, and the line below this we represent as denser medium, and this is the normal line or the normal ray. So you can see that a light from the rarer medium, let's take it as air or vacuum, when it hits the denser medium, let's take it as water. What happens when it hits the denser medium? The light rays bends. So this bending of light ray is known as refraction of light. So what happens when light rays travel from rarer medium to denser medium? It bends towards the normal. It bends towards the normal. So normal is here, it bends towards the normal. What happens when light travels back, that is from denser medium to a rarer medium? So what is a denser? So let's understand this. A denser medium is here from water to the air or vacuum. We can say it as light rays passing through the denser medium to rarer medium, it bends away from normal. So here from rarer to denser, the light rays bend towards the normal. From denser to rarer, the light rays bend away from the normal. This is normal line and it bends away from the normal. We will see now refraction of light through a rectangular glass slab. So we have considered here a glass slab. It's the normal here, and here also there is a normal line. So we'll take air or vacuum as one of the medium, then glass is another medium. So when a ray of light passes through a rectangular glass slab, it gets bent twice. So this is one medium, air medium. It gets into the glass, it's another medium. Then again it's coming out to the vacuum. So 3 times it is getting bent. So this is bending twice, that is, once it enters to the medium, it bends. Then again it is coming out from the glass, it again bends here. So glass interface and glass air interface. So air and glass, glass and air. So emergent ray is parallel to the incident ray. So emergent ray is parallel to the incident ray and is displaced through a distance. It is displaced through a distance. So this is the emergent ray that is coming out. This is the actual incident ray that hits the glass slab, and this ray enters into the glass medium and it comes out. This is the emergent ray. The ray that comes out is known as the emergent ray. So let's understand the laws of refraction. Here we will see that incident ray, the normal here, that is dotted line is the normal, and the refracted ray. So refracted ray, here this is incident ray. The ray after bending, it is the refracted ray, and this dotted line is the normal. So all the 3 will lie at the same plane. So it's the same for the mirror. Laws of refraction, it's the same. So angle, let's understand sin I, that is angle of incident, and angle of refraction is constant here. The ratio of sine of angle of incidence with respect to sine of angle of refraction is constant. It doesn't change. That is, sine I by sine R is equal to refractive index. So you get the refractive index by calculating the value of with respect to the medium refractive index, that is angle of incidence, that is angle of incidence here is air, angle of refraction glass. If you take the refractive index, that is you divide the values of air medium and the glass slab medium, you will get the refractive index. So you can see that refractive index of medium 2 with respect to refractive index of medium 1. So you will take medium 2 is above and medium 1 as below, because this is denser medium, this is the rarer medium here. So this sin I by sin r is a constant is with respect to Snell's law. So refractive index, absolute refractive index of a medium is the ratio of speed of light in air or vacuum to speed of light in a medium. So light passes through an air, its speed is different with respect to the light passing through a medium. It can be a glass, air or any medium like oil, etc. So you can see that when the medium is rarer, the speed of light is more. When the medium is denser, the speed of light slows down. So let's see here, this is the measure of how much light slows down when it goes into a new medium. Absolutely, when it changes the medium, the light slows down. The symbol of index of refraction is N is equal to C by V. What is C? That is velocity of light in vacuum is represented as C, that is N is vacuum is 1. Velocity of light in a medium. So we have already seen that N is equal to sin I by sin r is a constant. So the constant we will take it as 1. So speed of light in vacuum by speed of light in medium. So refractive index of medium is like speed of light in vacuum by speed of light in medium. We will understand about spherical lenses. So what is a spherical lens? It's a transparent material bounded by two surfaces. Again, there are two different surfaces as the mirror was concerned. Here also there are two different surfaces, especially concave and convex lenses. So to understand convex lens, it is thicker in the middle. So convex lens is thicker in the middle and thinner at the edges. Rays of light parallel to the principal axis. In the mirror also we had seen the parallel to principal axis. So rays of light passing through parallel to the principal axis after refraction through a convex lens meet at a point. So it passes back behind the lens and it meets as a particular point on the principal axis. So here you can see that the light rays that is parallel, they pass through the convex lens and it converge or convergements come and meet at a point, that is, you can see here focal point, that is with respect to convex lens. Let's understand concave lens. It is thinner in the middle. So here it is thicker in the middle. Concave lens is thinner in the middle and thicker at the edges. So edge is thicker. So this is the edge. It is thicker with respect to the middle. Rays of light to parallel principal axis after refraction get diverged. So what happens here? Once it meets the lens, there is a refraction, you can see that it is getting diverged and you draw an imaginary line backwards, it meets the focal length again. So we will understand the cases now. Refraction of spherical lenses in a convex lens. So this round what is there, you can see it is a convex lens, and this the bent outside lens, it is the concave lens. So convex lens, you can see here there is O, that is middle point, then to your left you will have focal length 1 f1 and 2 f1. To your right you have f2 and 2 f2. So you can see that after refraction, a ray of light passes through the focus on the other side of the lens. So once it hits here, it doesn't pass here, it passes through the other side of the lens. Then what happens in concave lens? Here what happens, the ray of light comes and hits the concave lens, it appears to be diverging. Here it is converging, it is diverging, that is it comes to the middle and it moves out. Then you can see where you should link. Here you will link through the f1 point. So here in the next case we will take in convex lens. Convex lens, always you should draw it as the shape of your eye, that is here spherical shape. So you can see that convex lens, you are going to make it pass through. First it was parallel, now you are going to make it pass through f1 point. So focus of refraction, it goes parallel, so it again goes beyond and it goes parallel. In the next one you can see that light directed towards the focus, so it is directly here, you can see it passes through the focus and it goes beyond. But here you need light passes through and it hits the focal point. Here what is happening is it's getting diverged. Next case, in convex lens and concave lens, a ray of light passing through optical center. O is the optical center. A ray of light, both cases, that is convex lens and concave lens, goes without any deviation. It directly passes through the optical center. So next we will understand the images formed by convex lens. So given condition is when an object is at infinity. In the same way as a mirror, we will learn now here. Object is at infinity. The image, that is light rays are parallel coming here. So you can see here what you have to do is convex lens, you need to draw this lens. Its optic center you will put at the center. Then you will mark as, you will draw a straight line again here with the same distance. You will draw f1, 2f2, f2 and 2f2. So you can see that image is formed at the, once the parallel rays pass through. In convex lens, always the rays goes beyond the lens. So you can see here, beyond the lens, it meets at a point as f2. So what happens here? Here there is a image. You cannot see the image, it is highly diminished, it has become very small, real and inverted. If it is highly diminished and real and inverted. So next case, let's see, again you need to draw this lens. Convex lens, you can draw this, put a line through the middle, mark it as optic center. To your left side, the same distance like 1 centimeter marking or 1.5 centimeter marking, you will add it as focal point 1 and focal point 2. Here f2 and 2f2 you will mark. Next, what they have asked is when an object is placed beyond to back of 2f1. So first you have drawn the basic things. Now you will place an object behind 2f1 and one ray you will pass through the lens. It's been told that a parallel ray, it will pass beyond the lens, and first point is 2f2, it will pass through 2f2. The other one you will make it to pass through optic center. So you can see that the image here, there is a point that is crossing over, that is the light rays merge here. This is the point where an image is formed. Here you can see that image is smaller than the object. It is real and inverted. It is real and inverted. So let's understand the next case. They have asked us when the object is at 2f1. Before that you will draw this lens, mark it off as optic center. then F1 to F1, F2 to F2. Now you will start with the case, that is when object is placed at 2F1. At 2F1, exactly at 2F1, you will draw a arrow mark above it. Now again, as I told, what will happen? First ray you will pass through the lens, it will go behind and it should pass through F2. Next ray you will pass it through the optic center. Both the rays where it will meet is 2F2. You can see here it should meet at 2F2 and you will draw an inverted arrow mark. This is your image. This is the object and this is your image. So how the image is formed? The same size image is formed, that is object size and the image size is same here. But object and image is different. Image is here again real and inverted. So let's understand the next case. Again you need to draw the convex lens, optic center in the between. You'll draw a line against it, that is from the center. Then you will mark it as F1 to F2, F2 to F2. Then you will draw where the object needs to be placed. It is a condition where the object is between 2F1 and F2. So between 2F1 and F1. So exactly in between you will draw your object here. Then the first case, as I had always told, first draw a line. That ray passes through the lens, it should reflect. It passes through again beyond the lens, that is F2 position. And next ray, it passes through optic center again. What happens is, it meets at a point here. Where it meets, there you will draw your line inverted, it is your image. So what is that you are observing now? The image is formed behind or beyond 2F2, and how you can feel it as it is enlarged. It's larger than the object, real and inverted. It is inverted again, it is real, and you can see that your image is larger than the object. Let's come to the next case, that is again you need to draw a convex lens. Draw a line through the center and mark it as O is optical center. F1 to F1, F2 to F2, that is focal points. Then you will see the case when an object is at F1. They have asked you to place the object at F1. You have the same positions, that a ray of light will pass through the convex lens and it will pass through to F2. Next you will pass a ray through the passes through the optic center. So what is happening here? It's going to meet somewhere which is not seen by us. So highly enlarged image you will be getting, real, but it will be again inverted. So next case, again the same way you need to draw the lens and place mark the placements. So where the object is placed here now, it's between F1 and optic center. So in between F1 and optic center you will draw a line here. So the object should not be above the lens now. So everywhere you should take care that your object should not go above the lens. So mark it as an object. Then you can see that what happens is one ray should pass through F2, the other one will pass through optic center. So what happens here, these two rays will go beyond and it will meet at a certain point. That will be your image, and this here you will draw an imaginary line with respect to the lens for the reflection. So you can see that the image is formed at the same side of the object, but here it's the first time you can see that your image is too enlarged. It's virtual, that is the same position as that of the object and it is erect. So till now we had seen about the convex lens and its positions and images formed. Now we will see about images formed by concave lens. So what happens here, concave lens you need to draw like this. So your concave lens is bent towards inside. So convex lens is towards outside. So two convex lenses join together there. Here two concave lenses join together. You can see that it's bent inside. So what happens when an object is placed at infinity here again? So you are not able to see where the object is placed. There is rays of light, parallel rays of light comes up and it hits and gets reflected. And you can see that through the focal point there is an imaginary line that is created, and the focal point, it is highly diminished. The image is formed here. It is not seen. It's very small, it's highly diminished, virtual and erect. So next case we will see again here the same way. We need to see that when object is placed between infinity and f1. So in between infinity and f1, your infinity is here. You are not able to see the infinity. You are placing it in between infinity and f1. One ray will pass through. What happens? It gets diverged here, and the other one will pass through the optic center. You can see the diverged ray meets. You can see, draw the imaginary line here. It meets through the f1. So where it is meeting the two rays, there will be your image. So how is your image now? It's smaller than that of the object. It is diminished. So smaller means you will write diminished, virtual and erect. So let's see sign convention for spherical lens. So we had seen sign conventions for mirror. We will see about the sign convention with respect to spherical lenses, either it is concave or convex. So concave, you keep in mind, remember cave. Cave means you will be thinking about a lion inside a cave. So you might be afraid to go inside a cave. So what is that comes? It's a negative thought, right? So negative. So wherever cave comes, it might be concave mirror or convex mirror, you will be using the sign conventions as negative. It's a simple technique to remember the sign conventions here. So you can see that sign convention for spherical lens is same as the spherical mirrors. So except optic center, there it was center of curvature, here it is optic center. The focal length of convex lens. See, I told now that concave always cave. Remember cave. Cave means wherever cave comes, you need to put it as negative, because cave you get a negative thought. Entering into a cave, you will be afraid, and you might be thinking there might be a lot of wild creature like a lion, and you are very afraid to go inside. So you will put the sign convention cave. Remember cave as negative. Concave, wherever concave signs come, you need to put it as negative. So you can see that focal length of convex lens is positive, focal length of concave lens is negative. Here you can see it's convex lens. You can see the bulged here. So height upwards. So height upwards is positive. Direction of light towards the lens against incident light, you will be negative. So you can see here in the direction of incident light. So you can see here it is light V is positive. The direction of height is negative here, but the light is positive here. We will see the lens formula here. It's just the opposite of the mirror formula. We have seen that distance, object distance is U, image distance remains the same as V, focal length as F. The only difference is there, if the sign was positive, here it will be negative. For mirror it was plus, for lens it is minus. So you can see here that 1 by V minus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. Magnification formula remains the same for both the mirror and the lens formula. So M for magnification is height of the image by height of the object, that is equal to the image distance, that is height of the image, that is V by U. M is equal to V by U. So this is about power of lens. So we have learnt about spherical lens. You might be using lens to your eyes. You might have seen for far and near sightedness, many of the people have glasses that's of lens that might be concave or convex based on their vision. So let's see the power of lens. What is power of lens? It is the reciprocal of its focal length. Power is equal to 1 by F. So power is reciprocal is 1 by F. So you can see that what is then focal length? Focal length is equal to 1 by P, the reciprocal of power. So what is SI unit of power? SI unit of power is diopter. It's very important to keep in your mind. So SI unit of power is diopter. What is 1 diopter? 1 diopter is the power of lens whose focal length is 1 meter. If the focal length is 1 meter, then the power of lens is related to 1 diopter. The power of convex lens is positive. I have already told you to keep in mind that concave, if you keep in mind concave as negative, convex lens is positive. So that's all about light, reflection and refraction. Keep watching for the next videos. Thank you once again.